Hello. Um, Give me a sec. I am just checking everything's working. Hello, hello, hello. Um, Sorry everyone, give me a sec. Uh, uh, um, just checking it's all working. You know the deal. I like to do this before we start. Just yeah, okay, it's all working. Um, Let me see who we have in the chats. For those in the Zoom room, give me a little hello in the chats. Ellie's first. Well done, Ellie. In your cunt. Hello, Andrada Mesa. Francesca, good morning. Sophia. Sienna, hello. I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you very much for asking. Sonia, Niall, Sophie, Ruby. Everyone's coming in. Orla, Ruby again. Ruby. We got three Ruby. Oh, two Rubies. Sorry, two Rubies. I'm good, thank you, Ruby. Thank you for asking. Holly Freya Jacob from Portugal. Jacob, who's not Portuguese but lives in Portugal. We've figured that out before. Nice to see you again. Hey, Martha. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Rowan, Alice, Ariana, James, Benjamin, Karishma, Will, and Fraser. Let's get into it. And everybody else watching, just to remind everybody how this is working. We've got some people watching free and then some premium members in the Zoom room who I'm going to go and answer all your questions later on. We're going to figure out all the questions that you want to go through. I have some cool maths for you guys. So I shouldn't be saying things like that. I, but I do have some really useful bits that I think are going to very much help you guys. You say, I'm sorry, we can't do specific questions. So I know you're saying you want to do solving equations, quadratic equations, and surds and stuff. That's just a bit specific. It depends what questions come up in the thing. Um, Cool maths, says Niall. No, the maths isn't cool itself, but I've got some cool tricks for you guys. Okay, so the first thing is a calculator hack. I know you guys are here. A lot of you guys are here for calculator hacks. This one's really, really useful. Let me share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There are so many calculator hacks that worked on this particular paper. I could spend the whole session doing calculator hacks, but I'm not going to because I'm going to do a bit of calculator hacks and then a bit of real maths. The first one, yeah, so let's do this. So calculator hack is question one. I'm gonna go through graphs today as well. I have one really useful way of thinking about graphs that's just gonna fix all of your graphs problems in like 3 minutes. I'm serious. I'm going to teach you if anybody does get stuck on highest common factor, lowest common multiple, and you have that annoying technique that they teach you at school where you draw Venn diagrams and stuff. I'm going to fix that for you. You're never going to have a problem with that again. And then if we get time before half past, I'm going to try and show you guys how to get unstuck on math questions. Okay, let's jump into it. So, um, you guys can all see me and hear me and everything. Yes, you can all see my screen. You can see my calculator. Just let me know in the chats. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Right. Let's jump in. Let's jump in. So, question one, calculator hack. So, what's going to happen? You turn your page over on your real GCSE, and bang, you're hit with a question like this, and you're like, oh, 6 hours 39 minutes. Oh no, I can't remember. Is that 6.39? What do I do? What are you guys thinking? Stick it in the chat. How do you deal? I'm not even reading the rest of the question. How do you deal with 6 hours, 39 minutes? Now, how do you deal with it? Convert to minutes, says Sienna. Nice idea. But then you've got the whole thing in minutes. Maybe. Scribble unnecessary words, says Francesca. Yeah, maybe. Panic and stuff like that. Yeah, Anushka knows what I'm talking about. Anushka knows my calculator hacks. So I have a calculator hack that's just going to fix this for you. So this is on a calculator paper. Yeah, you're right. So you can't use hours and minutes. And if anyone's thinking 6.39, this is a big no-no. This is very, very tempting to say 6.39 because it's 6 hours 39 minutes. You can't do that in hours and minutes because it's not a decimal. It's not like 10 and 100. It's like 60. Okay. So you can't do that. And this is the thing that people get stuck on this question. So there's a 3 mark question, right? And it's like find the average speed. And most people are like, if you've covered this already, speed, distance, time, people are like, okay, so there's like speed, distance, time, or however you remember this triangle. And, you basically they'll tell you two things and you use it to find the third. And if it's speed, you cover it up and do distance over time. Okay, so that's all we're going to do here. So most people are like, okay, I have an understanding of how to do speed, distance, time, and then they get tripped up like this. Let me show you how to fix it. This amazing calculator hack. It's this button here. This one here. It's a weird little button. And if you haven't seen me use this before, you're going to be like, what the hell? That looks like degrees, like Celsius or something. What the hell? Okay, so let me just show you how it works. Oh, my tables. Do you get that? There you go. Nah, there you go. My table was wobbly and I've just fixed it. And I know you all know how satisfying that is when you fix a wobbly table. Oh, fantastic. Okay, okay. I shouldn't be getting so excited about that. Let me show you the hack. I don't, says Will. Okay, sorry. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, fine. Okay. Let me show you how to do this. So, for those of you in the Zoom room, do you know what button you've got to press? Do you know how to put in 6 hours, 39 minutes? Because what you're all going to do, I'm going to teach you this hack. So, basically, you press this button after everything. So, 6 hours and 39 and you're all going to go equals and it's going to say syntax error and you're going to be like, oh, Rob's hacks don't work, he lied to us, what's going on? No, you pressed it wrong. You have to go 6, then that button, and then 39, and then that button. And what that does is you're telling your calculator 6 hours, 39 minutes. Now, this is such a useful little hack for anyone that just makes silly mistakes on any time question. So, how long did it take the bus to get from here to here, or whatever? But the thing that it's really useful for, if you're more advanced and you're fine with those things, it's this. You hit equals here, and I know you're thinking, Rob, that's completely pointless. It's just converted it into the same thing. Yeah, but then you hit S to D. And if you hit S to D, it changes it, okay, into something horrible. We don't like this. That's a horrible thing. We hit it again and it changes it into a decimal. And this is just, I'm sorry to say, brilliant. It's crazy you can do this on your calculator. It's such a small thing, but you've converted this into decimal. So 6 hours, 39 minutes, you have converted into 6.65 hours. And this bit is the hardest bit of the question. That's the hardest thing. After you've done that, I'll show you how to write some working out, okay, to make it just to double, just to sort of make extra sure that you're getting the marks for that, that you're not just going to write that. Whenever you use a calculator hack, you should sort of actually show some working as well. But let me just show you how to finish the question off now. So now it's just a simple case of that's the distance. Sorry, the distance is 429. So we just put 429 in there. The time it took is now 6.65, and that goes in the time one. And now the speed is the thing you don't know. So you cover that up and it's that over that. And that's done. That's full marks. So now it's just 429 over 6.65. You do have to check the units, okay? They've asked for it in kilometers per hour. So these two have to both involve kilometers and hours. So this 425 is kilometers, 49, sorry. And this one is hours, 6.65 hours. So for whoever it was that said convert it into minutes, it is possible to convert this whole thing into minutes, but you would then have to convert it to hours again to use it in here to get kilometers per hour. So anyway, look, I'm just going to finish this. I'm going to do 429 divided by answer. 429 over answer equals. And 64.511 dot dot dot. And you're all going to do that and move on. Okay. And I'm just going to remind everybody while we're here, your teachers tell you stop making silly mistakes and they tell you read the question. And both of these things I think are such stupid things to say to you. Whose teachers are telling them to read the question and stop making silly mistakes? Let me know. I also, Niall, this is funny. At the beginning, I said I got some quite cool maths for you guys, and Niall said cool maths question mark, and now he said okay, okay, that is quite cool. It's quite cool that you get. It's quite cool that you get loads of marks for free on this, right? Rowan says you have a different calculator and can't find the button. If you have a different calculator and don't have this button, get the 991. I'm actually going to release more videos on how the CW works, which is the latest version of this, but just go and get the 991 EX or the CW, and then you can use this Rowan, and then you can just get loads of marks for free. Yeah, so everyone's saying, yeah, okay, all you've figured out exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Olivia's saying, yeah, it's kind of pathetic because when read the question will help me get exactly, exactly. Sorry. What Olivia just said there is like her teacher's telling her, read the question. And she's like, yeah, that's not going to help me to understand it because the question is the problem. Yes, exactly. So I've got loads of techniques. So instead of read the question, I have my stuck mode, which we might get onto today. Hopefully, we'll get time for me to show you guys what to do when you get stuck on a question. And in terms of stop making silly mistakes, what I say is don't stop making silly mistakes. Learn how to find them. So at the end of the paper, you guys are all going to write CU exams at the end. Take a picture of this if you haven't seen this before. Calculator, units, every question. This is called substitute X. I don't have time to go through all of these today, but these are all my checks. Answer, marks, and cents. Take a picture of this. I'm not going to stay on this. I'm not staying on this. So if you need to know that, take a picture now. These are the 7 different checks that I recommend you do at the end of a paper. So you're going to get through a paper and you're just going to write stuff, blah, blah, move on, blah, blah. Then you go back to the beginning and the first one is calculator. Is there a way I could have done this question on my calculator? So here, even if you didn't use my hack, a lot of you might have written 6.39 and carried on through the question, okay? And then you would have come back and but is there a way I can do this question on my calculator? But oh yeah, there's that little button Rob told me about. Try it, practice it. Maybe you pick up on that mistake. Then the next check you want to do is units. So then you go back through the whole paper, and all you're looking for is units. So when you come in here, and units, I should actually write, units is actually units slash sig figs, units and significant figures. So what you do in this question is you're just looking, okay, hours, minutes, kilometers per hour, one decimal place. It's like, yes, you did the hours, you did the thing, you did the thing, you did the thing. Oh, you didn't do one decimal place. So it's so easy to say, read the question. You didn't read the question. It's one decimal place. You think, listen, in a maths exam, when you've got a million things going through your head, it's very difficult to always read the question. And you are going to make these sorts of mistakes. Just normalize that now. Yes, try not to make them as you go through a paper, but you're going to make them. Okay. So at the end of a paper, I say half-time whistle. Okay. That when you get to the end of a paper, that's only half time. You have to now go and do all these 7 checks and keep going, keep going, keep going until the final whistle. They should do a whistle, shouldn't they, in an exam? Until they go, okay, put your pens down or whatever they say. I think we should bring back a final whistle. So you go back through and you're like, oh, I made a mistake. I didn't write that to one decimal place. That's fine. It's fine to make that mistake, but now go fix it. Okay, so I should have not put the 0.11s. I should have just ended it there. Okay, one decimal place. That means one number after the decimal point. There you go. So there you go. Calculator hack. Now let's write this down. So if anyone didn't know that, I would probably say convert. I actually think you should write on the front of your card, first step, a train takes 6 hours, 39 minutes to travel dot dot dot. Remember, my idea with what I call these micro revision cards is that each one should only take you 10 seconds to revise. Don't write this on the front of a card and on the back, write like so many people do this on the back, they write like the whole thing like this. And they're like, remember to convert, da, 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 and also use the formula triangle. And remember, you put it this way around. And remember in the question, they said average speed. And also remember to double check that it's one decimal place as well. Like, don't do that on a card because it's just a nightmare and you're never going to revise that. It's just so boring. Here, what's the first step of this? And on the back, convert to hours. Convert to hours. So let me just do this quick. I don't want to spend hours talking about hours. Okay, I want to take a few minutes to talk about hours. Convert to hours, and you could write. I'm just trying to work out the nicest way of saying. You could be like use 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 this button. What does it look like? It's so weird. Circle, comma, double comma. Use this button. If you like, you could do that. Or if you actually want to know how to do this properly, the way to do it, someone actually suggested turning this into minutes first. I'm just going to quickly show you this. If you had this on a non-calculated paper, I think the easiest thing would be to change the 6 hours into minutes first. So 6 hours, you want to times it by 60 because you want the number to get bigger. You want there's lots of minutes and there's 60 minutes in an hour. So that'd be 360. I know I said non-calculated, but whatever, just whatever. You times it by 60 to get a minute. So that's like 360 minutes. That's like 360 mins, and that's 39 mins. Add them together. 360 plus 39 is going to be 399 minutes. And then convert this into hours by dividing by 60 to go back into hours. So 399 divided by 60. If you need a separate card for this, and then do you see here you get the 6.65? You either do it that way or you take this 39 minutes and convert that into hours. I just want to do this quickly because do you see how boring this stuff is if you actually do it? I don't want to spend an hour talking about converting between minutes and hours, okay? It's why I want to just give you the calculator hack, get you loads of marks. And some of you will know roughly how to do this. But you can take 39 minutes, divide it by 60, and this will change it into 0.65, and then you add that onto 6. So it's like 6.65. I'm going to leave that with you. If you want to add onto this card, how to convert something into hours and minutes, that's fine. You can do a separate card for that. I just think the main thing that people make a mistake with here is they don't realize if you're given hours and minutes, you need to convert it. And this button is super helpful for doing it. You need to go press 6 hours, 39 minutes. Then you do the S to D thing. I'm just going to put that there. That's still really quick. So 6 hours, remember 6 hours, 39 minutes. Then you hit equals and then S to D a couple of times and it converts into decimal. Okay, that's done. Let's move on. Don't want to spend hours talking about hours. The next thing I want to show you guys is graphs. Question 4. Okay, here we go. Who wants me to teach them the whole of graphs in 2 minutes flat? Actually, in 10 seconds. Okay, who wants me to teach them the whole of graphs in 10 seconds? Let me know. Stick it in the chat. Me. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. Me. Okay, okay. Um, give me a tiny bit more than 10 seconds, okay? But the actual thing of okay, I can teach you graphs in 10 seconds. It's this. If you can find numbers that work in a graph, they are coordinates on the graph. So any numbers that work in the equation are coordinates on the graph. That's the whole of graphs in 10 seconds. Okay, now let me actually just explain it a little bit more. The reason why people find graphs difficult is they don't understand how an equation like this can correspond to like a line on a graph. And I think that is the big problem here. People are like, oh, well, why though? I don't get why an equation and a line have anything to do with each other. Like, and they can't see that. And I think it's taught very, very badly. I think the way people teach graphs is they go straight in with this y equals mx plus c. Who hates this? Stick it in the chats. Who hates y equals mx plus c? Me. It's annoying, isn't it? It's just, yeah, okay, right. Everybody hates it. Okay? Everybody hates it. I loathe it, says Martha. Yeah, and I think this is the problem with teachers, with the way most people teach graphs, is that they jump straight in at this really quickly. Like, no, just try and remember y equals mx plus c. And you're like, I don't know what any of those letters mean. I don't know what you're talking about. So let me just delete this, okay? I'm not saying it's completely useless. It is obviously true and blah, blah, blah. But I want to show you a better method for just getting out of jail free, for just being able to draw any graph, especially if you're stuck. So the whole point of my method here is, can you find any point on this graph where x equals 1.5? Just have a think, everyone. Look at this graph and think, is there anywhere on this whole graph where x is equal to 1.5? So this is the x-axis. So 1.5 is going to be there, right? So this at this point, x equals 1.5. So that is a point on the graph. Now, it's difficult to draw a graph here with only 1 point, so we want to get another point somewhere. Where else on the graph is x equal to 1.5? You might realize, like, oh, like here as well, or here. It doesn't really matter, like anywhere. Or like here, the y value is changing to 2 and 4, but the x value is staying the same. Oh, look, it's this whole line. So this is the line x equals 1.5, okay? x equals 1.5. So that's the first line done. Now we're going to do the second line, y equals x. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't know why. Right. Everybody now, try and think of a point on this graph where y equals x. So where the y value equals the x value. So let's just pick a random x value like 3. And what would the y value have to be if y equals 3? It will have to be 3 as well. So 3, 3. Okay, so that points on y equals x. What about 5 and 5? Okay. What about 1 and 1? Okay. Oh, look, we've got another line. So the whole point of this is a line is just a collection of all of the places where the equation is true, if you see what I mean. So the equation is going to be true for like specific numbers, and that corresponds to like a dot on the graph. And you look at all the dots where that's true and then join them up and that's a line. So this is a great example here. So many people find this difficult to draw because they've been hammered home y equals mx plus c, y equals mx plus c. And your teachers are saying, well, you've got to rearrange this to get y as the subject. And then you've got to figure out the gradient and the y-intercept. And there's so many steps here. But let's all just take a second and see if we can use this method that I'm teaching here, which is, can you guys think of any numbers that would work here? So just think of two numbers, x and y, so that they would add to give six, basically. Stick it in the chat. So let me know. 3 and 3, says Sophie. Anyone else got any ideas? That's a great idea. Anyone else? 2 and 4, 4 and 2, 2 and 5. 2 and 5 doesn't. Oh, sorry. Will's okay. Will, you're going 2.5 and 3.5. There, that's okay. That's true, but it'll be nicer to work with nicer numbers. Yeah, 5 and 1, 2 and 4. Right. So people are already coming up with numbers, and okay, some people are fine like choosing difficult numbers, but choose nice numbers because it's easiest to draw. So some people here have said 1 and 5. Some people have said 2 and 4. So someone said 1 and 5. Some people said 2 and 4. Some people said 3 and 3. Some people said the other way around, 5 and 1, whatever. Great. Any of these points are points on your graph. So 1 and 5. So if x is 1 and y is 5, we're all happy that 1 plus 5 would be equal to 6. So if x is 1, y is 5. So let's go find it on the graph. We'll use a different color. X is 1, y is 5. Okay, so that is another point. That's a point on the graph. All you really need is 3 points because then you'll know whether you've made a mistake or not because they should lie on a straight line. Most graphs are going to be straight lines. When you get harder or higher tier, or actually even at foundation, there's some harder graphs that are curves, but you can still use this exact technique. So now let's try 2 and 4. When x is 2, y is 4. So that would be there. And someone else said 3 and 3. There you go. And now we've got a graph. You just literally join them together. And you can do as many dots as you want. You could keep going. Once you've got 3, though, it makes sense. Just get your ruler out. I can cheat because I've got an iPad. But there. And that's full marks, okay? That's how you do it. And do you see I've managed to do those 3 questions without using y equals mx plus c and without remembering all of my graphs. A few people in the chat, when they saw this graph here, they said, oh, that's the diagonal one. Now, great. If you know that y equals x is that graph, which it is, then great, you could just draw that down. But if you forget or you're not sure or you just want to double check, you can go and use this method, which is, can I find any 2 numbers that work here, here? Rarely. This one is a bit weird because there's only 1 number. So I understand that's a little bit weird, but I think that's the best way to draw x equals 1.5 is go and find the point x equals 1.5. A lot of people say this is the line x equals 1.5. And they say that because it's like X, it's in the same direction. But no, if you just use this one trick that I taught you at the beginning, I know I said I'd do graphs in 10 seconds, but remember, this is just me explaining the 10 seconds. The 10 seconds is still true. That in 10 seconds, all I'm saying is to draw a graph, find numbers that work in the equation and join them up. That's the whole of graphs. In 5 seconds, that's even 3 seconds. Okay, that's graphs in 3 seconds. To draw a graph, go and find some numbers that work in the equation and join the dots. That's it. So that will get you out of jail free for loads of graphs, and that will just help you. Does that help? Does that help? Let me know in the chats. Is that a useful way? 4 seconds as well. Okay. Allow me 4 seconds. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, cool, cool. A lot of people saying yes, 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 that helps. Yeah. So look, there is this whole thing about y equals mx plus c. Yeah, we'll get onto that. And yeah. But even in the case y equals mx plus c, you can still you can still use this trick. Shall I just show you quickly? So some of you are probably thinking, well, okay, Rob, maybe that works for these graphs. But what if you did like a y equals mx plus c, like y equals 2x plus 5? Ooh, no, that's a horrible graph. Again, you could just make up numbers for x. Just pick, I don't know, 1. And then 2 times 1 would be 2, plus 5 would be 7. So y would be 7. So 1 and 7. There you go. You could draw that on the graph, 1 and 7. So that would be there. Let's pick another one. Okay, actually, this isn't going to work on this graph because it's going to end up being like up there or something. But you could just keep going. Just keep going. Just find some numbers that work. Go and join them together. 0 is always a good one. What if x equals 0? This bit would disappear. 2 times 0 is nothing, and y would be 5. So 0, 5. Okay, there you go. There, so I've already drawn that graph. It's like that. You know, there you go. So this same trick can work for any graph, literally any graph, even for the curve graphs, the really nasty ones that are curves. Same thing can work there. Okay, let me quickly do highest common factor, lowest common multiple. We're not going to get round to doing this, I don't think, but I'm going to show you this. Who hates highest common factor and lowest common multiple? Stick it in the chat. Will was asking, would 6 and 0 work? Not in that question. 5 and 0 worked in that one. Yawn, says Olivia. Yes, me, hate it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, okay. Sienna says, I learned these this morning on your videos. Okay, it's fine. So Sienna is fine with highest common factor and lowest common multiple because she's used my videos. Fantastic. Okay. A lot of people saying it always confuses me. It's really annoying. Right. Who is, yeah, okay, Will's done a vomit emoji. I think that's how most people think, especially when I show you the question. Okay, let me show you this question and put a vomit emoji in if you hate this. Or okay, maybe you can't find the vomit emoji, but like, how does this sort of question look to you guys? Disgusting, sick emoji. Okay, horror. So some very horrible looking emojis. We've got the green face that's about to be sick. We've got the yellow face, which has already been sick. We've got a sort of swear word one. Yeah, okay, right. So everybody hates this. Okay, everyone is hating this. We've got Orla's. Okay, only Orla has got like this lovely like heart emoji. Okay, so you're all okay. I'm going to teach you how to do this, and I'm going to ask you all to put your new emoji for how you think about this question afterwards, and we're going to see if we can all have Orla's emoji, which is person with little red cheeks with hearts all around it. Okay, I'm going to get you from vomit emoji to love emoji in 3 minutes. Okay, let's go. So the problem with this, okay, actually, just let me know who's taught this annoying thing where you go, here you go, Venn diagrams. Who's taught this? Let me know. Who's taught this? Yeah, guys, your teachers are nuts. Your teachers are nuts. If your teachers are teaching you this thing, I just think they're nuts. I think it's so confusing. It's like, why are we using Venn diagrams? That's a whole other topic of maths that I have to learn. It takes forever, says Olivia. It takes forever. It's so complicated. How do you put this into the Venn diagram? It's like, wait, three of the twos in the middle. Wait, so there's two, there's two out there. Oh, we're all, yeah, don't do this. Don't do this. It's a complete waste of everybody's time. Watch this method. It's gonna blow you up. Right. So my method is my method here is that there's the only thing you have to remember to do is line up the prime factors. Okay. So the twos are already lined up. So that's fine. Twos there. Then I'm going to put the threes. So threes here. Then I'm going to put the fives. And now I don't want to do it like that because you're mixing the 11 and the 13. So this technique I'm about to show you, you just have to separate them. So it's like now I'm going to write the 11s, but there's nothing there. So I just leave it blank and then I'm going to write the 13s. Okay. So essentially what you're doing is you're lining up the twos, the threes, the fives, the 11s, and the 13s. Can you all remember to do that? Because that's the only slightly weird thing about this method. Okay, can you all remember that? You got to promise me that you're going to remember that one step. Maybe says, well, okay, let me show you the end of this, and I promise you, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go and remember that. Now, all you have to do is, for the lowest common multiple, pick the highest of each one. For the highest common factor, take the lowest of each one. See, that's the only other thing you've got to remember is you just do the opposite. Okay. The reason is, if you're like, that's annoying, highest common factor is still a factor, and factors are small. So it's like the biggest of a small thing. So it's small, small, small. Lowest common multiple, people look at lowest common multiple and they think, ooh, that's going to be small because it's got the word lowest in it. No, it's a multiple. So multiples are big. So it's the smallest of loads of big things. So it's a big thing. So lowest common multiple, take the highest of each one. So what is the highest out of that and that? Just put A or B, like A or B for top or bottom. Which one's higher? Yeah, cool. So the bottom one's higher. Which one's higher here? A or B? A, good. So we're going to put 3 squared. Which one's higher here? A or B? B, very good. Which one's higher here? A or B? A, very good. A. And which one's higher here? A or B? B. There you go, 13. Okay. Who wants full marks? You got it. That's it. Done. That's it. That's the whole question finished. 100% finished. Nothing else to it. There's nothing else to this question. That is it. Full marks. Now, if the question asks for highest common factor, which they haven't, so look, I'm just going to write this here. 2 to the 4 times 3 squared times 5 to the 4 times 11 times 13. Full marks. Okay. Now, if they ask for highest common factor, you just do exactly the same, but you pick the lowest. Well, I'm going to go through this one more time with you guys, and then for those watching free, we're going to finish. What is the lowest out of these two? Stick it in the chats, A or B. Come on. A, you got it. Right, so 2 cubed times what's lowest out of those two? B, you got it. What's lowest out of those two? A or B? A, yes, someone said C. I think you're trying to trip me up. What's lowest out of those two? This is the tricky one. B, yeah, everyone knows that B is the lowest. So do you see that nothing was written there? So I write nothing. I don't touch it. I don't write 0. You don't put 0 in. That would be a mistake. You just don't put anything. And likewise here, which one's lowest, A or B? Yes. So you put nothing. So you don't do it. So your answer there, you actually don't need that thing. There you go. That's full marks. There's nothing else to it. That's the end. Okay, you don't then have to draw a bloody Venn diagram. No Venn diagrams. So who can remember that? Someone was saying, is that full marks? Is that really full marks? Yes. Why are your teachers teaching you the Venn diagram approach when this works? It's just crazy. So this is how to do it. Okay, now I ask you guys, you're going to do, why is it so easy, says Callum. Yes, right. Why is it so easy? Listen, I am shocked, says Martha. Yeah, right. So that's it. Because they aren't as smart as you, Rob says. Well, okay. Yeah. Maybe. We don't know. That's such a smarter way, isn't it, Freya? This is so much simpler, and it actually helps you to understand what's going on. Because if you understand, if you thinking lowest common multiple means take the highest, it means you have an innate understanding of what a lowest common multiple is. It's a big thing. Okay, so not only is this easier, not only is not only is this easier to remember, not only is this quicker, but it actually helps you understand it better than drawing Venn diagrams. So now put your genuine emojis in the chat. If you still think you'll want to vomit, you can put in you can put vomit emoji. But what emojis are you guys thinking now for A? Okay, smiley face, heart, smiley face with heart to the eyes. Yes, cat face with hearts in the eyes, smiley face, star face. Okay, okay, everybody loves it. There you go. Ivy says you're confused. Please, Ivy, you're in the premium room. So what we're going to do now, Ivy, just explain why you're confused. Put it in the Q&A. This is what we do with the premium members. I can answer all your questions. So if you're confused here, just put it in the Q&A and I'm going to help you out. If anyone else is confused or if anyone has any more questions about anything I've said today, stick it in the Q&A. Just for the premium lot, I can go through and answer your questions. And what I'm going to do now is let me quickly just do a poll. So I'm going to do a poll for the premium lot. Just let me know which questions you guys want me to go through next. So this is from question 1 to 14. Just put your votes in there and I'll go through those questions. And for those watching free, thank you for joining me. If you want any more support, or you want to join us in the premium room and I can answer all your questions, or if you want access to all of my videos so you can go and learn all of my calculator hacks, you know, like this one. Okay. Can I just give you guys a quick, you can do this whole question on your calculator. Okay. And 2 marks for free. Okay. You can do, you can solve equations on your calculator. So you can get that answer and then you've got to show some work if you can get that answer for free. Okay. On your calculator, you can't do that one. You can't do that one. You can't do that one, but you can do a hack for that on your calculator. There's a trick for doing that on your calculator. You can draw graphs using your calculator. The hacks, it's crazy, and you can check your answer for that on your calculator. If you want to know my calculators, hacks, or for those of you in premium that want to know how to do them all, just go into the module, calculator hacks, go learn them all, and your grade is just going to go, poof. Your grade's just going to go up because it's just going to help check all your silly mistakes and stuff like that. Um, Crazy useful, really, really useful. Anyway, for those of you watching free, thanks for joining me. Yeah, you can go and sign up to premium if you want more help. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Let me stop sharing my screen.